Eat Lux your way with the Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. There's the classic $5 box, the indulgent $7 box, and a whole new obsession in the $9 box, the flaming hot grilled cheese burrito. Try the Lux Cravings boxes at Taco Bell today.
Find your sun with Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Cold, refreshing, and made for moments like these all year long. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim. It's the only thing like it in the world.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
How's your day going?
Going good. Thank you. Yes.
When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust rowpaint.com to get that job done right.
Really, guys?
What? Jackson's always has those game records.
Let's go!
Hey Bronco Nation, this is Boise State football wide receiver Ben Ford. I've had to face some setbacks on the field this past season, but toughness isn't about staying down. It's about getting back up. I am proud to represent Lithia Ford of Boise, where you can find the largest selection of Ford trucks that are built tough and, like me, handle the hits and keep pushing forward. Come check out the incredible inventory and competitive pricing at Lithia Ford of Boise. And when you buy here, you're not just getting a truck, you're supporting Boise State athletics and Lithia Ford NIL partnerships. Come see us at Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live is the only daily show that talks nothing but Boise State sports. And we do it with you. Give us your comments or questions in the ICCU YouTube chat. Or leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox at speakpipe.com/BNN. BNN broadcasts come from the Sun Cruiser Studios. Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. Crack open a Sun Cruiser and let the good times cruise. Bronco Nation News is presented by our title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise, and our major sponsors, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, RoadPaint.com, and the Blue and Orange Store. At Lithia Ford of Boise, we're proud to stand with Boise State athletics. Through our NIL marketing partnerships, we're investing in the future of student athletes. Lithia Ford of Boise, here to get you there, wherever that may be. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho. Broadcasting from the Sun Cruiser Studios, here's BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Happy Wednesday, Bronco Nation. How we doing? What's going on? BJ Rains here. Bronco Nation News Live, presented by our title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise. As you heard, get out to Lithia Ford right there on Fairview Avenue in Boise. Check out some of their great specials. You can view their full inventory online at lithiafordboise.com. And we are in the Sun Cruiser studios. Sun Cruiser, available at your local gas station or grocery store, including Jackson's and Ridley's. And whether it's the vodka iced tea, the lemonade vodka, so many great flavors. Pick up a Sun Cruiser and let the good times cruise. Sorry for the late start today. It is late start at my son's school, and we had a yearly checkup for one of my sons, and so the other son needed a ride to school, and it's late start day, and I couldn't drop him off till 9, so apologize for the late start today, but that is, I guess, the nice part about a YouTube show and not being on the actual radio or TV or something. You can start and stop whenever you want. So apologize for being on dad duty this morning, but got the kid off to school. And here we are to talk some Boise State basketball and maybe some football. We'll kind of see where it goes today. But again, apologize for the late start. Sports Guy 10 watching from Minnesota, as he always does. Appreciate that. Windy Columbus, Montana. I'm not even sure where that is, where in Montana Columbus, Montana is, but not surprised to hear it's windy in Montana there. So, and I guess that's the hometown of Brent Musburger. I actually met Brent Musburger once at my very first year covering the team, 2013. I was in the Salt Lake airport going to Fresno in 2013. Went up and talked to him. And he was going to whatever big game he was covering that or broadcasting that weekend. So it must have been a Friday morning for a Saturday night game. And I said something about, Boise State. And he goes, "Oh, 3-point dogs at Fresno." He knew like right away their what their betting line was for the game. It was pretty funny, actually. So let's see. Good morning from cloudy and wet Meridian. Yeah, I was just out there. Not that cold today, though. Temperature's not bad, but yeah, a little cloudy still. It was kind of misting a little bit on the way. Never apologize for dad duty. That job's number one. I agree. I agree. One thing, you may not like my opinions on things. You may not like, how I run things, whatever, but you'll never be able to say that I don't love my kids and I'm not super proud of them. So that's definitely number one in my book is my family. And I'm not afraid to say that and show that. And that's my family is nothing will ever be more important than my family. Sky says Mountain West standings updated, sitting at number 7. Probably not going to jump higher at this point, given the 2 losses to UNLV, but it's okay. Now I will say this, Sky. Have you seen UNLV's schedule? The last couple of games here? Like UNLV has 4 games left, and they play tonight at Grand Canyon. They're home to Nevada, home to Utah State, and then they're at San Diego State. Like, UNLV literally could lose their last 4 games. I don't think that's going to happen. They'll get somebody. They might get Nevada at home. I don't know, but that's a rivalry. But at Grand Canyon tonight, Grand Canyon's going to be ticked off, losing to Wyoming on Saturday. Like, I think Grand Canyon wins that tonight, so that's a loss. Utah State at home, and they already beat Utah State, so I think Utah State will be fired up for that one. That's probably a loss. And San Diego State on the road on senior night for San Diego State, that's probably a loss. So, I mean, I got them losing at least 2, maybe 3 games down the stretch here, and that would put, and they could very well lose all 4 games. I mean, tonight's a big game. If they could lose to Grand Canyon, that would help Boise State. As you said, if they finish tied in the standings, certainly they would have the tiebreaker because they beat Boise State twice. So Boise State is still essentially 2 games behind them, even though it's 1. So it is going to be tough. But if Boise State can go, 3-1 and they go 1-3, that's possible. Now you just need Boise State to go 2-1 because they got the win last night. So if Boise State can somehow pick off the win at Fresno and then somehow get either San Diego State or at Colorado State, I think the 6th seed is certainly in play for this team. And so I think Saturday is going to be kind of the swing game. I think I said it on the post-game show last night, but that's a very losable game at Fresno. And I think those of you watching this show, are basketball savants maybe, or know, like, this year is not your typical Fresno team. They're not bad this year. So I think you guys all kind of recognize that. And it's not just coach speak or media talk or trying to cover for them or whatever. Like, Fresno State's not bad. They're 121st at KenPom, and they're a sneaky team. Now, on the other hand, you look at their conference wins, Air Force, UNLV, Air Force, Wyoming, Colorado State, San Jose State. They haven't beaten any team in the top, 5, 6 in the standings. But with that said, they were up 20 on New Mexico the other day. Should have won that game. Last night, they were up, I think, double digits or at least 7 or 8 on Colorado State. Very easily could have won that game. They've had some very close games that they've lost. And so they're a sneaky team. They've got some guards. They can score a little bit. Going to Fresno is one of those sneaky, tough, trappy places to play because there's no crowd and it's a big arena and it feels empty. So Fresno is not going to be an easy game on Saturday by any means. The KenPom projection tells you that. It shows it as a 2-point game. KenPom only projects Boise State to win by 2 points on Saturday. So if you can find a way to sneak that one out, be on a 3-game winning streak, have some confidence going into senior night against San Diego State. Maybe you get that one against San Diego State, and that would be huge. And then you'd be setting up, seeding for Colorado State. I mean, Colorado State, you're tied with them right now in the standings, and you play them in the last game of the regular season on the road, and they're playing really good ball right now. They've won 6 in a row. After starting conference 3-8, Colorado State's now 9-8. They've played really well. And you could say the same thing. They've beaten Fresno, Wyoming, Air Force, San Jose. Did have a UNLV win in there and then had a San Diego State was kind of the one that stood out the other day, but they've mostly beaten the little teams in the standings also. But they've won 6 in a row and they're playing better. And that game in the last game of the season could mean a lot. Now they go to San Jose on Saturday. That's going to be a tricky game, as we've talked about. And then they're at New Mexico on Wednesday, back-to-back road games. So I think they'll probably lose that. So I think there's opportunity for Boise State to still finish in the 6th seed, to still go a little higher in the standings. Collins got banged up last night. I agree with that. Hello from Joplin Elementary with late start. All right, Tequila Gus, appreciate you. Gosh, BJ, making us wait for a free YouTube show, watching from Indiana. Funny. Appreciate that. Appreciate you for saying that. Our team just doesn't have it this year. Good guys, missing leadership like Deg. Even the wins feel like something is missing. No hate, just my opinion. No hate. I mean, that's fine. That's your opinion. It's a little interesting take after they've just won 2 games in a row. I think that would have been maybe a little more pointed take, this time last week after they lost to Utah State. It's certainly not perfect over there. I mean, they've got 11 losses this year. So anyone that says it's all perfect and peachy, I mean, that's obviously not the case. But there has been this narrative, this talk that the guys don't like each other. They've checked out for the season. I don't believe that to be the case. I believe those comments were off base. I don't say this to sound conceited or whatever, but other than Bob Beeler and Abe Jackson, who go to literally every game the last 20 years or whatever they've been doing it, 18, 19 years to call the games on the radio, nobody, and I mean nobody, literally nobody that's not like on the team or a coach has been to more Boise State games in the past decade than I have. I mean, I go on the road, home, maybe miss a game here and there, but in person, when you count for basically the last 4 years, travel with BNN, going to every single road game except maybe 1 or 2. And with the paper before that, traveled to a lot of road games. Literally, other than Bob and Abe, who work for the team and are on the radio broadcast, no fans, no other media has come close to going to the number of games that I have. And I'm not saying that means I know everything. I'm not in the locker room. I'm not, in the meeting room. I don't know everything. But when you're around the team as much as I am, you can usually get a sense of some of that kind of stuff. And I haven't gotten that one bit. And I've talked to people, and I just don't believe that to be the case. And, there were comments made even on this show, and I'm not going to, call out and name call and say people are, it is what it is. They've been on other shows, my show. There were some comments made, not by me, by my guest, by my co-host, by my employee. I disagree. And that, like I said, it's an opinion. Somebody else can have it. I don't know if it was a report, an opinion, whatever. And that's one thing I will say. We need someone, you got to have, media members that are willing to say it like it is, willing to be honest, willing to be negative. And sometimes you don't always get that. So I do appreciate a lot of that, but with that said, I didn't think the comments were true personally. And I was, a little surprised, I guess. But again, when you're losing, and even some of the folks in the chat here, Kurt Fuller and all this, people had said, oh, they're checked out. Oh, they're, they definitely don't like each other. You can tell it when you watch. And just because you lose a game on the road by double digits when you're supposed to lose by double digits on the road doesn't mean that all of a sudden the guys have given up or checked out or that they're fighting in the locker room. Like we don't know that. We just don't know that. I don't think that to be the case. I have since asked around, and I really don't think that's the case. And after the game, RJ Keene asked about the noise on social media about the team not liking each other or being checked out.
We want to go play in March Madness. This team loves each other. I mean, if you had a behind-the-scenes camera of our squad, you would think we haven't lost, because we have the swagger, we have what it takes to win, and we love each other. We've grinded since the beginning of June. We've been in it for, I think that's 9 months, and yeah, all those fake reports and all that stuff. No, this team, if you can see our celebrations after people make buckets, after people are going in, this team we're locked in.
All right, I'm just going to play the second part one more time there.
And yeah, all those fake reports and all that stuff. No, this team, if you can see our celebrations after people make buckets, after people are going in, this team we're locked in.
Well, there you go. You can decide for yourself. So is Prater wrong? Again, he obviously said that because somebody told him that, or he thinks he knows that. I don't know. But I don't believe that to be the case. I've had people that would know tell me that's not the case. And you've now heard 3 or 4 players fight back against that. You've had Leon Rice fight back against that. And so I get the whole sense of, and I said it on the post-game show, yeah, last time, what are they supposed to say? Of course Andrew Meadows is going to say they all love each other. Of course Leon's not going to say I lost the locker room. But like, at some point when 4 guys have said it, the coaches said it, and you heard, how strongly Keene said that there. I mean, you heard the comment. At some point you got to take them for their word. They're telling you there's no issue. I don't think Keene would go that strongly if there were major issues in the locker room. Now, as some people have pointed out, is everybody 100% happy with what they're getting NIL-wise for their playing time? Probably not. Of course not. No team is 100% okay with everything. Are some guys maybe already starting to think about their future and what's going to happen in the portal, whatever? Sure. I think that's happening with every team in America right now. So to say that everybody is 100% only looking at this season, only looking at this team, all 12 players hanging out with each other when they leave the field, when they leave the court, like, I think you'd be crazy to say that. So is there some truth to that thought? Sure. But I also think that if you've watched the last 2 games, if you've listened to their comments, and in particular, if you've watched the games, you've seen guys pointing to each other on an assist, clapping, laughing on the bench, and now they've won 2 games by double digits. Yes, against teams in the bottom of the standings, and yes, wins cure all. But I just, again, I don't see it. Maybe the season will end and we'll find out they did hate each other and they were lying and kept a good, kept it under wraps. I don't know. And like I said, is there some truth to it? Is there some small amount, whether it's NIL, playing time, whatever, that guys are unhappy with? Sure. But is it nearly as bad as it was made out to be last week on shows and things, and this show and comments on social media, fans, whatever? Like, I'm going to say no, it's not. I don't think it's nearly as bad. I can't 100% say I know because, again, I'm not in the locker room, but I've talked to people that are in the locker room, off the record, behind the scenes, whatever. And I'm not getting any sense that that's the case, that this team is crumbling behind the scenes, that they're all fighting in the locker room. I just don't think it's true. So hopefully we can put that narrative behind us here down the stretch. And, it is what it is. They've won 2 in a row. Like I said, when you win, of course, everyone in the post game is going to be happy, all that kind of stuff. I understand that. And is the truth probably somewhere in the middle? Probably so. But I would lean towards it being more on the side of that's not really an issue right now. That's a big issue. Now, 3 games to go. What's their record going to be? Like I said, if you can win the Fresno game, I think that really sets you up for the rest of the season here and what they could potentially do. But that's not going to be easy, and we'll certainly see what happens on Saturday. I do want to dive into some of the numbers and things from last night's game. If you have any other comments, thoughts, get them in the ICCU YouTube chat. We'll get to those here shortly. But do want to thank Lithia Ford of Boise. You see Ben Ford there with the NIL deal with Lithia Ford. That just makes perfect sense. But if you're looking to buy a new or pre-owned vehicle, support somebody that supports Boise State as much as anybody, folks. Lithia Ford of Boise, they're giving coaches, administrators, NIL deals, their vehicles, they're backing it up, folks, in a big way. So return the favor. That next car or truck purchase, please make it at Lithia Ford of Boise. You can view their full inventory online at lithiafordboise.com. Sun Cruiser, as I mentioned, they got the iced tea vodkas, the lemonade vodkas, so many great flavors. Check out Sun Cruiser. And it's a low carb, low calorie. Love Sun Cruiser. Started having it at Circa down in Vegas last year. And I was like, I got to find out more information. One thing led to another. And happy to have them on board as a sponsor. And I don't BS you guys. When I talk about the sponsors, I 100% mean what I say. I've told sponsors, no, I don't want your business because I don't like your product, and not, as mean as that. But if I don't like your kind of food or I don't like your thing, like, I'm not going to just take your money and tell people they should go buy it if I don't like it. And so I mean what I say when I talk about my sponsors, and Sun Cruiser, I 100% mean what I say. It's a great beverage, and hopefully you guys will get some for Saturday, and we can have a couple together during that simulcast of the Fresno State game. We'll talk more about that a little later. But Idaho Central Credit Union, they donate $25 for every free throw that's made at Extra Mile Arena during home games. And I think the total was $425. Trying to find my stat sheet here. I think they went 17 for 19 in the game the other day. And so that means, $425. Sorry, all right, can't find the stat sheet. Oh, well. $425 on the free throws. Here it is. And that's $25 to the Idaho Youth Sports Commission for every free throw made. And they were 17 of 19. So Idaho Central Credit Union, they're giving back to the community in a big way. Idaho Central Credit Union. And that we appreciate their support of Bronco Nation News. They've got like 7 student athletes on NIL deals. They're stepping up in a big way. Saw them, Shelby out there presenting a check last night. So we appreciate Idaho Central Credit Union. Hey, a little cold today, a little windy. Perfect day for some hot chocolate or coffee. You can do that at Jackson's, 99 cents at Jackson's. 99 cent using your Let's Go Rewards app. 99 cents. Just type in your phone number and you can get a 16-ounce coffee or hot chocolate. That's right, 16-ounce coffee or hot chocolate for just 99 cents from our friends at Jackson's. Hopefully you got some Taco Bell today. My son had his 11-year-old checkup appointment, and I believe he got some Taco Bell afterwards on his way back to school. My wife's spoiling him there. So breakfast quesadillas, all the great options at Taco Bell. Love those Cantina Bowls myself. And again, the SON Management Group, the Nicolason family, they were the sponsor of the game last night, and they provided 300 tacos for students. The only problem is I'm not sure they had enough students there and I say this, kind of jokingly, but kind of serious. Like when I looked back and it was like game time, it looked like they still had a decent number of tacos left. Not a huge student crowd last night. And we can get into that as well. Let me thank the Blue and Orange Store, though. Online at theblueandorangestore.com. Blue and Orange Store online, theblueandorangestore.com. Whether it's Boise State gear, jerseys, sweatshirts, the new 208 gear, maybe you need the logo golf balls for the season. They got all kinds of great stuff. You got the location at the mall with 14,000 hats. They got the location at the Allen Noble Hall of Fame where they can customize those jerseys for you. And, of course, you can order anywhere in the world online, theblueandorangestore.com. All right, so, by the way, how about Joey Jenkins, I believe, was the one that did it. But how about when they announce the starting lineups, they announce the coaches, Coach Leon Rice, and it's time for your sixth man. No, for the first time that I can remember in my 13 years covering the team, the sixth man was not announced as the Corral student section. Sometimes when there's no student section, they just don't do it. They just don't announce a sixth man. Last night, the sixth man, Section 12. Section 12, they actually did it. They announced, and your sixth man, Section 12. maybe the students don't care because they're not there, whatever. But that was a total shot, a total eye-opening kind of thing for me, and should be for fans, for others. Like, wow, the student section didn't even get announced before the game. They announced the sixth man as Section 12. Like, you're not going to show up. You're not going to make noise. You're not going to stand. We'll give them the credit down in Section 12. When I heard that, I was like, wow, that was something. And good for Section 12. They deserve it. As Bronco 130 says, good as it should be. Great job, Section 12. Done without free tacos. Yeah, they didn't need the free tacos down in Section 12. Maybe they should have taken them down to that end, though. Good. It's embarrassing when they say that. Down year for the Corral. Morales Brothers for the win. Section 12. Yeah, it was cool they did it. I'm glad they did it. They deserve it in Section 12, but I was surprised that they actually said, like I said, usually when there's no students, they just don't do it. They just go on to the video. But when they actually said Section 12 is the sixth man, I was like, wow. If you're a student going like, wow. We'll see. San Diego State on Tuesday, senior night. What kind of crowd is it going to be? You'd like to get a sellout. You'd like to have the biggest crowd of the year, especially if you beat Fresno. If you're on a 3-game winning streak, if it's your last chance to see Javen Buchanan, Dylan Andrews, Dom Parolin, 7 o'clock start on next Tuesday, you'd like to think it should be the biggest crowd of the year. You'd like to think it could be the first sellout of the year. It probably won't be a sellout, but student section wise, you'd love to think for one game you can get a good amount of section, a good amount of fans and students to show up next Tuesday, but we'll see. But I did think that was interesting. The crowd wasn't great. It ended up filling in a little bit, and it wasn't like awful, but it wasn't good last night. And I know people say, oh, it's the chicken or the egg. It's, whatever. You got to win games first to get the crowd to want to come, and don't lose to a D2 team in your first game and kill the hopes for the season. I understand. I get it. I'm not necessarily blaming the fans that aren't there or saying, I'm not blaming fans that have other things they want to do with their money. I get it, but I'm just pointing out facts. The crowd wasn't, I'm not blaming anybody, ripping anybody, whatever. I'm just pointing out facts. The crowd wasn't great, and it wasn't super loud, in large part because it wasn't great in terms of the actual number of people there. So just seemed like not a lot of energy. It's Wyoming. It's not a very exciting game. I get it. It hasn't been the year you wanted. Obviously, the banked in 3 right before halftime from Drew Fielder. That kind of got the crowd going a little bit. I think I have that somewhere. I thought I did. Maybe not. I think I do have that, actually. Let me try to find that. No, I don't think I do. Drew Fielder banked in the 3, got a little bit of a crowd at that point, making some noise, but for them, and there was a couple big buckets where they were able to do that, but for the most part, not a huge crowd, and like I said, frankly, not a huge surprise either. Like I said, I get it. You got other things you want to spend your money on. Totally understandable. By the way, the women's team tonight plays San Diego State. First place San Diego State. I might take my son Nelson, my 8-year-old. We may come to the game tonight. But if you were at the game last night, you get a free ticket tonight. Your ticket stub gets you into the women's game tonight for free if you went to the men's game last night. But 6:30 start. The women are playing really, really well. And one of my sons has baseball practice. I might just say, you know what? I'm going to take my other son. We're going to come hang out and watch the game and get some video and give a little coverage to the women's team. And I was asking my son, trying to kind of convince him if he wanted to come. And then I said, well, you can take some videos for me and get some highlights. You can work for BNN tonight. How about that? And he said, his first response was, well, how much are you going to pay me? How much are you going to pay me? I said, how much do you want? He goes, like $100. I said, $100 to take a couple videos on my phone from the game. I said, not happening, but maybe we can buy you a Bronco dog or some ice cream and see if we can keep him happy for that. So if you're at the women's game tonight, maybe I'll see you there. If you've got young kids or nothing going on tonight, 6:30 game. Women's games are fun and haven't been able schedule-wise to get out to too many this year. So I may take my son and get out there and enjoy the game tonight. We'll see. I hear you. I hear you, Dan. I hear you. He says he'll be there Saturday. The 6:30 weeknight games are tough. 6:30 is at least better than 7 or 7:30 or 8. But the women are having a heck of a season, like 22 wins, I think it is right now, and they're playing great. They're tied for second place with UNLV. They finish the season at UNLV next Wednesday, so they're kind of in a similar spot as the men in terms of fighting for seeding here, but they're fighting for a much higher seed. They've got a chance at the number 2 seed. If they can win this game tonight, would be massive, but they're playing first place San Diego State, and San Diego State is looking really, really impressive this year, so that should be fun tonight. Again, 6:30. We had Tatum Thompson on the show yesterday, and maybe we'll see some of you out there tonight at Extra Mile Arena. But you look at yesterday's game, and I thought it was interesting that the bench didn't do much, and you can look at it as two ways, I guess. The bench didn't do a whole lot. You had 3 points from Parolin, 2 from Aarons, and 2 from Keene. And you could say, okay, only 7 points from the bench. But the alternative is you had 3 guys score at least 17. And if you tell me going into the Mountain West tournament, you're going to get 17 from Buchanan, 18 from Fielder, and 20 from Andrews, I don't care who they're playing. I'm saying they're probably winning most nights. When you get 3 guys that can go for 17 plus, that's a good sign. That's a good thing. And if you can get all these guys clicking at the same time, that's a big deal. And Andrew Meadow also had 10. But how about RJ Keene? I've seen a couple of comments in the chat that it's time for RJ Keene to be starting. I wouldn't disagree with that. Pearson Carmichael, I believe he just rolled his ankle, but Coach Rice did say after the game that it swelled up pretty bad. And obviously they get the extra day with the game Tuesday. He only played 8.5 minutes. He was 0 for 3 from the field, had a rebound. Didn't play much. Obviously that injury didn't look good. He was riding the bike for a while. He actually came back in briefly, but didn't do much and then didn't play the rest of the game after that. He came in the midway through the second half or so after riding on that stationary bike for like an hour. But we'll monitor that with Pearson. But I think either way, probably time to get Keene back in the starting lineup right now. I mean, you got to play the hot hand. I still think Pearson Carmichael's an X factor down the stretch. If he can get hot and hit some threes, this team can certainly do some damage down in Vegas. But right now, Keene looks healthy again. It's funny. Keene doesn't score, and a lot of times folks are like, oh, got to get Keene out of there. Got to get Keene out of there. Whenever the team's struggling, Keene's the easy one to say, need more offense. Got to get Keene out of there. And now all of a sudden it's like, nope. Yep. RJ Keene probably needs to be starting. 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. That was an RJ Keene kind of game. And it's funny, in the post game, he said, yeah, that was kind of vintage Keene. And like he said that about himself, that it was vintage Keene. He said that he lost a lot of weight, wasn't feeling great, but he's finally kind of back to himself after the flu. He had 4 IVs, I think he said, that he had to have, and hadn't eaten anything in like 7 days and lost a lot of weight. And probably, frankly, shouldn't have even played in that first game that he came back and played in. I forget when that was. I think that was the UNLV home game on a Friday night when they lost in overtime. He only played like 10 minutes. I don't think he should have played in that game, sounding with what it sounds like he was dealing with the IVs and stuff. He was maybe feeling better, but not at all, weight-wise and stuff, energy-wise where he should be to play. So the Keene self-gloss was pretty funny. Yep. Return of the Keene to the starting lineup. So we'll see what happens, but I think that's certainly something you might see. You played 28 minutes, played starter minutes, and again, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, only 1 turnover, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. So got our handy-dandy stat sheet here. Rebounding was nice, 35-23. They controlled the glass. Also had 36 points in the paint, 17 second chance points to 8 for Wyoming. Wyoming had 13-7 bench points. But I thought the key stretch there was late in the first half. Boise State was down 7, and they go on a 9-0 run in the final 2:01, I think it was. And that banked in 3, all of a sudden they're up at the half when they were down 7 with like 2 minutes left. And all of a sudden you look up and they bank in a 3, and they're going into the locker room with all the confidence and momentum up at the half. And then they kind of kept that rolling. The 2-point lead turned to a 10-point lead with 15 minutes to go in the half. So that first 5 minutes of the second half, they extended the lead out to 10 and kind of kept them at arm's length a little bit. They got it to 4 or 5 a couple times. They kind of kept it in that 8 to 10 range most of the game. And I thought it was a nice win. Did what they needed to do. Again, Wyoming's by no means a, title contender in the league, but it wouldn't shock you if they surprised somebody. They got 6 conference wins. They got some guards that can score. And, Leland Walker, number 5, he had 8 points last night after having 30 the first time these two teams played. So let's give Mike Burns and the defense a little credit. They held Wyoming to 42% from the field, held them to 62 points. And I thought that the defense started to look better. Long way to go. A lot of action, a lot of games to go, but I thought the defense started to look better yesterday, and that was obviously something that was definitely needed. Hey, we'll keep things rolling. If you got any comments, thoughts on the standings, the race, the two games tonight. But I want to thank Bousher Real Estate. Number one ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bousher and Bousher Real Estate. 252-9877 online, BousherRealEstate.com. We bought and sold our home using Matt and his team, and it was tremendous customer service every step of the way. The customer service, the attention to detail. I mean, you get to meet like everybody in that photo because they all handle something different throughout the process, and it's just it was great. Really enjoyed it. I know everybody has a lot of friends, family members that are all realtors, but if you're looking for someone that's going to fight for literally every dollar and get you the best deal possible, that's Matt Bousher. Again, check him out online at BousherRealEstate.com. Hey, Signature Roofing, online at mysignatureroofing.com. Speakpipe.com/BNN is where you can leave us a voicemail, brought to you by Signature Roofing, online at mysignatureroofing.com. Whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an estimate, or an inspection, they got you covered online at mysignatureroofing.com. And appreciate Joel and the whole crew over there. They do a tremendous job. The Signature Roofing scoreboard update, two games tonight in the Mountain West, and they're back-to-back. You got UNLV at Grand Canyon at 7, and you got Utah State at San Diego State at 9. Two great games tonight. Really looking forward to watching the second one for sure if I get back from the women's game. UNLV at Grand Canyon. That's a 7.5-point spread for Grand Canyon. Utah State at San Diego State, and somehow San Diego State is favored by 1.5. So, excuse me, looking forward to seeing those games. And San Diego State's reeling right now, lost a couple in a row. Utah State just lost the road game in Reno, and now they're on the road again at San Diego State. So Tom Moser will have you covered on all the action tonight. Another night in the Mountain West coming up live right after that San Diego State-Utah State game goes final. Stay up late with Tom Moser, another night in the Mountain West coming up tonight here on BNN and our new channel. Make sure you subscribe to our new channel. It's just youtube.com/@Mountain West BNN. And Tom goes live after the final game every night in the Mountain West wraps up. Hey, if you're looking for a new fence, now's the time. ElementFencing.com, whether it's decks, pergolas, fences, cedar, wrought iron, vinyl, they can do it all. 25 plus years in the fencing business. Brady and his staff are ready to help you, and they'll build that perfect project from the ground up. If you're on the fence about that next fencing project, now is the time. ElementFencing.com, 631-2790. Whether it's just repairing a fence, a brand new fence, let them know BNN sent you, and they'll hook you up with a great deal. Element Fencing. Hey, Ridley's Family Markets. Love that Kuno location. Was down there last week. I saw the Rupert location when I was driving back from Logan. ShopRidleys.com. You can find a location near you, but if you just want that kind of hometown grocery store feel, not the big corporate conglomerate. I mean, when you walk into Ridley's, they really appreciate and care that you're there, and it's noticeable with the staff telling you hello and just the friendly staff there at Ridley's. So support local folks, support, a family-run Idaho business. That's Ridley's Family Markets online at ShopRidleys.com. You could say the same thing about RowPaint.com, Andy Rowe and Company. And again, we'll take your comments, your questions. We'll keep this thing rolling here in just a second, but you're watching a free show here on YouTube thanks to our sponsors. So I always appreciate when you give me a minute to thank the sponsors, and hopefully you guys understand that these sponsors, including RowPaint.com, who's our title sponsor for 4 years, they are single-handedly the reason you're getting to watch a free show right now on YouTube as our sponsors. So if you think the sponsor, ads run long, etc., this is with no sponsors, with no commercials, there'd be no show. So we appreciate RowPaint.com, Andy Rowe and Company. Winter painting projects, 20% off. Now's the time. Don't wait. Whether it's those concrete coatings, the interior, exterior painting, all your painting needs, make sure you hit up RowPaint.com. And if you need a job, transportation compliance service, transcompservice.com. They are ready to help you get into the trucking industry every step of the way. TCS can do that, whether it's the DOT, overweight, all the permits and things you need. They're a local company helping out folks all over the world. So check out Transportation Compliance Service, again, online at transcompservice.com. All right. Peanut's having a down year. Hopes he comes back. Yeah. And again, I'm not putting anything on any one player. There are a multitude of reasons that this team has not had the year that a lot of people thought they would. But I think even Pearson Carmichael would tell you that if he shoots the 3-point ball this season as well as he knows he can shoot it and should shoot it, this season looks completely different. I think they might have a couple more wins if Peanut Carmichael is not shooting 30% from three. I mean, RJ Keene has a significantly better 3-point percentage. I get it. He's shooting less shots, but coming into the season with what Pearson Carmichael did in the Crown, I mean, that last game of the season against Nebraska, you hit like 3 threes in the first half, and you're just like, okay, like this guy's going to be one of your best players next year. This guy's going to be a elite 3-point shooter. And going into the season, everybody was like, got to keep Pearson Carmichael. Can't let him leave in NIL. Got to keep him. Like, he was supposed to have a big year, folks, and it just hasn't happened. He's had a down year. He's had a lot of wide open looks. They haven't gone in, and players got to make shots. And again, it's a lot of reasons, but if you want to find like one reason where it's like, yeah, that probably is something they were not expecting this year and something that they thought would be better, and that would 100% be Pearson Carmichael's outside shooting. And I believe in him. I think he's a good shooter. I think he just hasn't had a great year, and you'd be buying low, so to speak, because I guarantee you he's probably still going to get some interest from other schools and things, and agents tell these kids crazy things. And he could probably still go somewhere and get more money and not be as key of a player next year. But if Boise State's able to keep him, I would 100% say you should keep him, because I think he has a chance to be a much better player than he's shown this season. He can walk. The defense is atrocious. Yeah, he's not a great defender, and that's another problem. You have him, you have Meadow, you have Keene. You kind of have 3 similar guys in some ways, and in some ways you wish you could mold all 3 of those guys into one. Like, if you could have, some of the shooting for maybe a Meadow or a Carmichael and some of the things he can do with his size, and then the defense and the intangibles of Keene, like, you'd have a really good player. But I'm not sure, like, all 3 of them kind of fit with the roster. So we'll see if all 3 of them are back next year. Wouldn't surprise me if one's gone, but it wouldn't surprise me if they all came back as well. But that is part of the problem. I think they need some more athleticism probably on this team, and we'll see how they get that, where they get that. But defense, and in particular athleticism on the wings. I mean, you're looking at the wings, and it's a lot of, like I said, similar players. I agree. Don't quit on him. Ceiling is a stratosphere. He'll be fine. Yeah, I mean, he had games in high school where he scored 50-plus points. And yes, I was told the very next day, last year, Pearson Carmichael made his first start of his career as a freshman against New Mexico and had like 20 points or something. The very next day, I heard there were coaches or folks reaching out from Wisconsin, like trying to find out what the price tag would be or see if he was interested. So he 100% had significant interest from Power 4 schools after last season. He stayed and just hasn't had a good year. So, I mean, Leon Rice gets all this blame. I'm not trying to defend Leon Rice, but at some point, like, players have to step up and make plays. And Pearson Carmichael was expected to have a big role this year and just has not shot the 3 ball. He hasn't had a bad year. He just hasn't had a great year. The year that, and he would even tell you that. I don't think I'm ripping on Pearson Carmichael. He would tell you himself he's a better shooter than a 30% 3-point shooter. When he gets wide open looks like he did in the Utah State game over his career, he doesn't miss too many of them. This year, he's missed a lot of wide open looks. Missed a couple again last night. So I think that he'll, whether that means going back to Keene in the starting lineup, I don't know. But I certainly think that there's upside with Peanut Carmichael moving forward here. What are the postseason options if Boise State doesn't win the tournament and go to March Madness? I would say, Robbie, with this team, there probably wouldn't be postseason. No one's told me that. I don't know that. But I would think this, maybe if now we're finding out they all love each other and everything's great, maybe they want to keep playing. I mean, the NIT could be an option. The NIT is usually desperate for teams. I mean, San Jose State went to the NIT last year, and they had a under 500 record in conference, I believe. The Crown only has 8 teams this year, and 6 of those are guaranteed spots to the Big 10, the Big 12, and the Big East, I think. So there's only 2 at-larges for the Crown this year, and I would think San Diego State would have a shot at it. I would think, New Mexico, if they don't get in, would have a shot at it because they would certainly travel to Vegas and bring fans. I would think both those teams would probably be ahead of Boise State on the pecking order to begin with. And I'm just not sure this team this season is the one that would want to keep playing and go to postseason. Last year, you had a lot of seniors. I get the money aspect of the Crown is nice, but I'm not sure the NIT is, some of these guys may just be ready to turn the page the next season. It was a rough year. Let's either get back in the weight room and start going, or let's hit the portal or whatever. I think this team may not be a team that is going to be super excited or crazy about going to the postseason. I'll just say that. By the way, I think I do have the video of the 3-pointer at the end of the first half from Drew Fielder. A little life in the arena there, and Boise State able to keep that run moving and that run going into the second half. R.J. Keene said the play wasn't actually supposed to happen. He was supposed to give that ball to Spencer Aarons kind of going down the side there, but he almost shot it himself. Then he turned, saw that Fielder was open, and one of their better three-point shooters. Not a bad idea to get him the ball there, and that wasn't the prettiest. Banked it in, but counts the same, and was a nice run there for Boise State. And back to the postseason thing real quick. I don't know that. No one's told me that. I'm just guessing. I don't think this team would pick the postseason if they don't make the NCAA tournament. Some teams just had more of an, it makes more sense. Like a Colorado State, they're getting better. They're growing. They don't have a lot of seniors. Like Colorado State might be the perfect team that would accept an NIT bid and keep their season going. And they're on a hot streak right now. Like Colorado State, I think I could very easily see going to the postseason. But some teams, it was what it was. The season didn't work out. You're ready to move on to the next season, and that might be one of the teams this year. Any chance Buchanan returns? I mean, I think his dad's in the chat watching, so who knows? But there's some lawsuits and things that are going. I know there's a offensive lineman at Purdue that's challenging that is Division I years shouldn't count. We'll see what happens with that. When I asked Javen about that the other day, he said he hadn't thought about that. He didn't really know about that possibility. But he's like, yeah, if someone tells me right now I could come back next year, I'd be crazy to not, seriously consider that. So I don't think that's something he's given a lot of thought to or expecting to happen. Leon did say they're looking into all possibilities and things like that. And we've seen some of these kind of lawsuits. So I think it's a possibility, but I wouldn't say it's a big possibility. I would say it's just a smaller possibility at this point. But hey, 2 wins in a row. I know it's the bottom teams in the conference, but you can only play who's on your schedule. And I think these final 3 games will tell us a lot about this team and whether or not they are kind of bought in to finish strong here or going to kind of fizzle out. And then, and I don't remember as team as Jekyll and Hyde as this in my 13 years covering the team. I don't think it would shock anybody in this chat if they lose in the first round of the conference tournament to San Jose State or Wyoming. And I don't think it would shock anybody in this chat if they win 2 or 3 games and make a little bit of a run in Vegas. This team clearly has talent. Clearly, when they're hitting shots, like when they at times look like one of the better teams in the conference, and they look like they can play and beat with anybody. And then there's times where they lose to Division II teams and have stretches of games where they score 2 points in 8 minutes and look like they're one of the worst teams in the conference. I mean, it literally is which team's going to show up tonight. And if you get the good version for 3-4 days down in Vegas, they're good enough. They're 100% good enough. They've shown it. I mean, they've beaten New Mexico, who's in second, third place. They've beat them twice, including on the road at New Mexico. If you can go win on the road at New Mexico and you can go take San Diego State to triple overtime, like you can literally beat and play with anybody in this conference. Now, is Utah State a great matchup for them? No. Is Grand Canyon a great matchup for them? No. But do they have zero chance to beat them? I'm not going to say that. And especially if you're on the other side of the bracket and you wouldn't have to play one of those teams till the championship. I think nothing would surprise me at the conference tournament. It really wouldn't. They are good enough to win the conference tournament, and they're, at times bad enough to lose in the first round. That's just the way it is. So I think these last 3 games are going to be important to kind of see what direction and what momentum they're taking with them into the conference tournament. If they can win 2 of these last 3 and maybe win that Colorado State game and go in riding some positive momentum, I could see them keeping it going. But if they lose 2 out of 3 and have a bad loss at Colorado State to finish the season, and then it kind of lingers, I mean, it's then I don't think it would shock anybody if they lost in the first game. So we'll find out. That's the beauty of it. The Ken Palms and all that, they have their projections, but that the game is not played on paper. You play the game in a gym with 10 players and 3 refs and a popcorn vendor and a beer guy, and you put the ball out there and you see what happens. And I think that am really eager to see. I have not been this intrigued. In a lot of years, Boise State's gone down there with a ton of pressure, and they're on the bubble, and you gotta, you're the number 1 seed, and they haven't had much success in this tournament, and Leon's got to prove himself, and they've got to. You're kind of going down there with nothing to lose. Like, it's already been a rough season. If they lose in the first round, everyone's just going to go, yep, that's about how it went for this season. Not surprised. Obviously, if they want to go to the big dance, they've got to win the conference tournament. So there is some pressure. I'm not saying that, but in terms of like expectations from fans and outside noise and whatever else, like, they're going down there with kind of nothing to lose, to be honest. And so I think it's just been a unique situation for them that they haven't been in too often down at the conference tournament. And maybe they, feed off that underdog role and play well, and we'll see. But a couple games first. Don't forget Saturday. Really, really, really looking forward to this Saturday. They've 5:30. Join us at 5:30 on Saturday. They've pushed the start time back to 6 o'clock. I think we'll be live about 5:30, and really, really looking forward to that. We're going to have a simulcast, a live broadcast of the game, and we're doing it a BNN cast, a Manning cast style broadcast. The game's on the Mountain West Network. We will get the Mountain West Network feed so you can watch the game right here on BNN. And instead of having to listen to the Fresno State announcers, you're going to get Max Rice and Tyson Degenhart in the first half, and you're going to get some other former players and boosters and other folks in the second half, whether it's Matt Bauscher, Travis Hawks, working on Derek Marks, some other players, Abu Kijab. So we got a lot of cool things planned. So make plans Saturday. If you can't join us live, watch it later. But as long as you have a smart TV, which I'm guessing most of you do with the YouTube app, you just go to YouTube on your TV, go to the BNN channel, you find the broadcast, find our stream, and you can watch us right there, full screen on your TV like you normally would when you're going to ESPN or whatever channel to watch a game. We can do the exact same thing, full screen. The broadcast feed should be just as good quality as if you're watching it on the Mountain West Network app, but instead you can watch the game right here on BNN. And again, Max Rice and Tyson Degenhart will be my special co-hosts in the first half. We'll have some other guys jumping in second half, and we'll just tell stories, talk about the game, watch the game, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We haven't done this before. We're trying something different, and I'm very curious to see how it goes. I'm excited. I think it's going to be good. The game got pushed back. It's not 4:30. There's a women's game, and they're pushing the game back to 5, which is 6 our time here in Boise. So they haven't officially announced that yet, but I was told last night the game time is being moved back 30 minutes due to a women's game earlier, and they want to give enough time for the men's teams to warm up. So 6 o'clock will be the starting time here in Boise. We'll go live with a 30-minute pregame show. Typically, we go hour pregame, but since we're not at the game, there's not as much to show you. I am going to get some videos sent back to me. We're still going to have Abe Jackson join us remotely from Fresno, but since I'm not going to Fresno, the only way I could make this broadcast work, I think most of you have heard this, but if you are new, I can't be at the game because there's a delay in the feed. It's like 30 seconds, and so the only way I can make this work is to not go to Fresno for the game, so I'm staying back in Boise, and we're going to have the full game broadcast right here on BNN. So it'll be like the Manning cast. You'll be able to see the game, and you'll be able to see and hear Tyson Degenhart and Max Rice and myself, and we're going to kind of just have fun and see who wants to join and see how it goes, and hopefully you'll pick up some Sun Cruisers and enjoy it with us, and it should be a fun night. We'll see how it goes. So I'm looking forward to it, and that'll be Saturday. Again, join us 5:30 for the pregame show, 6 o'clock Mountain Time for the broadcast here on BNN. But a full game broadcast. You can watch the game right here on BNN on Saturday at 5:30. So appreciate you guys. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Great viewership this morning. It's funny. Not much negativity in the chat lately. A couple folks that typically, when you're 8-3 over the last month plus, there's not as many opportunities to be negative. And it's been nice to kind of have the diehards in here that are mostly positive and I guess mostly realists in terms of the team. And there's no, just super hot negative takes or anything like that. It's been a nice, healthy chat, I would say, the last little while here. So I enjoy all of your comments. Appreciate all you guys for that. Yeah, it's going to be a fun lineup. Looking forward to it. So Oh, here comes the hate. Here comes the negativity. I hate the Frankenflinger is what Bronco 130 says. Come on, how can you hate the Frankenflinger? Again, I don't know why they cheer as much for it as they do. It's a 5-second thing that shoots some t-shirts, but it's a cool marketing thing. It's tried. I wish it had more shirts, and I wish it could go more than like one section, but I'm not sure after it's done why we need a second round of applause for the Frankenflinger. But all right, Dan says that has to go. So now here comes the negativity on the Frankenflinger. We all guess you guys agree on something. Love the show. Appreciate you for saying that. Looks like Jared. Appreciate you for saying that. Appreciate all you guys. Again, support the sponsors. Keep this show free of charge, folks. Support the sponsors. And when you do support them, when you go to Jackson's, when you go to Lithia, whatever, tell them. When you go to Taco Bell, like, let them know. Like, tell the owners, tell the GM, whatever. Like, hey, I'm here because of Bronco Nation News and your support of them. So these free shows, can't do it without our sponsors. So please support the sponsors that we've talked to you about on the show, many of which you see behind the screen here, and support the sponsors and let them know that you support them. And we appreciate all of you for doing that. And the other easy way to support us is just subscribe. BroncoNationNews.com. It's like $6 a month right now. If you go in there and take advantage of our 50% off annual subscription, we'd love to have you. It's like $6 a month. A cup of coffee or two a month gets you unlimited access to our VIP message board. Chris Van Sickle's got a story he's going to be putting up soon. Talking to a recruit. We got, analysis from Nathan, all kinds of content that's exclusive to our paying subscribers. So if you can help us out, $6 a month, get some exclusive recruiting content on Boise State. We'd love to have you. BroncoNationNews.com. That's another great way to support us and help us keep shows like this free of charge here on YouTube, is by helping with your paid subscription for all the written content in the message boards and online at BroncoNationNews.com. So go check out BroncoNationNews.com, subscribe, and appreciate all the nice words here. Why are we all hating on the Frankenflinger? Yeah, I like the concept of it. I like that they're giving away free T-shirts, but the bang for the buck for how much that thing probably costs with what you're getting in terms of 10 shirts thrown out in about 5 seconds, I'd like to see them go further. I mean, by the way, Tatum Thompson on our show yesterday, she was out there. I don't know if anybody saw this or not. She was the student athlete of the week. She was at midcourt during a timeout waving to fans, and they gave her a couple T-shirts to throw. I mean, she threw a T-shirt into like the second deck, and high up into the second deck. Like if Justin Schultz needs another outfielder or somebody with a cannon, I don't know if she has any eligibility left, and I'm kind of kidding, but I was impressed. Oh, she must have played softball back in the day or something, because she wound up with that T-shirt and threw, second deck throw. What a cannon. Yeah. She had the first one easily got into the second deck, and then the second one, I think, hit the facade on the other side. But she had a nice throw, nice arm. I was impressed. She let it fly out there for sure. Yeah. And so, again, tonight, 6:30, the women's team, maybe we'll see at Extra Mile Arena. I'm probably going to try to bring my 8-year-old son. We're going to hang out and get some content. We'll see how much I have to pay him. As I said earlier in the show, I told him he could get some videos for me to kind of keep him engaged. And then he said, well, how much are you going to pay me? So maybe we'll throw a free ice cream his way or a pretzel with cheese. We'll find some way to keep him happy tonight. But looking forward to it, to get out there. And, let's raise the angle. Can you get that thing into the second deck or a little higher? I mean, but I don't mind it. They're giving out free T-shirts. It's sponsored. I got no problems with the Frankenflinger. It's fine. You guys want to hate on me for not hating the Frankenflinger, then I guess we finally have our big disagreement for the day. But appreciate you guys. Have a great day. Go subscribe at BroncoNationNews.com. Go support the sponsors, and go read our coverage right now. Nathan's got a post-game story up. We got some interviews. Chris is going to, if you want to watch the full Leon Rice, full player interviews, Keen and Fielder, those are up on our YouTube channel from last night. The assistant football coaches didn't have time to get into that today, but all 3 new coaches, we talked to them yesterday. Terrence Brown, the wide receivers coach, Whitted, and then Frank Miley. They're all up there on the Bronco Nation News YouTube channel. You can go watch that. And again, hit that like button on your way out. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Watch all of our content. And Johnny Ballgame will join me at 9 a.m. tomorrow. I'm going to edit and post Chris Van Sickle's recruiting story right now, so you can check back in like 20 minutes, and that'll be up on the site. So appreciate you guys. Again, Sun Cruiser, we're in the Sun Cruiser studios. Pick up a Sun Cruiser at your local Jackson's or Ridley's Family Markets. Recommend the strawberry lemonade, the pink lemonade. Get the variety pack at the grocery store there. And they have the tea versions, the non-tea versions. A lot of people say, I don't like tea. I don't really like tea either, but I still like theirs because it's not a lot of tea. But they also have just the straight vodka lemonade flavors, which I really, really enjoy. So pick some of those up, and we'll see you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. And, of course, none of this would be possible without our title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise. We really appreciate Jim Sturck, Lithia Ford of Boise, stepping up, not surprising in a big way as our title sponsor, and couldn't do any of this stuff without Jim Sturck, Jamie Drake, and the whole crew at Lithia Ford. So really appreciate them. Next time you're ready for that newer used vehicle, please head to Lithia Ford of Boise and support all of our sponsors, folks. Support the sponsors. Tell them you appreciate them working with BNN, and go subscribe. And we'll see you in the message boards. We'll be in there chatting today. Not a lot going on. So we'll see what's going on in the message boards at BNN. And then we'll see you at Johnny Ballgame at 9 a.m. tomorrow here on Bronco Nation News and online, BroncoNationNews.com. Take care, everybody.
Hey Bronco Nation, this is Boise State football wide receiver Ben Ford. I've had to face some setbacks on the field this past season, but toughness isn't about staying down. It's about getting back up. I am proud to represent Lithia Ford of Boise, where you can find the largest selection of Ford trucks that are built tough and, like me, handle the hits and keep pushing forward. Come check out the incredible inventory and competitive pricing at Lithia Ford of Boise. And when you buy here, you're not just getting a truck, you're supporting Boise State athletics and Lithia Ford NIL partnerships. Come see us at Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.